like this one, the Mohawk, suffered greatly, having a 90% decline in the revenue and having to furlough very reluctantly all of their staff. But the music industry has persevered. Creativity and passion are the perfect cocktail for resilience. Gigs that would have occurred were shifted from live to Facebook Live. Some artists were inspired in the isolation to write new music, and half of those who were employed here at the Mohawk eventually found employment with vaccine distribution at CODA and at other places to help our community get vaccinated. Musicians and the music industry have been advocates when Congress was slow, when we were obstructed in getting the legislation passed for venues. They were here, the Amplified Sound Coalition, the HAM, SIMS, all of Austin Music over at the Austin City Council getting local support through their vigorous advocacy. And now as we begin to open safely, we can welcome a real explosion of music and art. Music so essential to our lives and our livelihoods. In the House, we have now finally, after having passed it in the House in October of last year, $10 billion of funds, and being delayed until Christmas getting the bill finally approved, we then added another $250 million to the Shuttered Venue Operator Grant in March. I was the only member of the Central Texas delegation to vote for it. We're glad to have everyone supporting it now. Another important provision for the Mohawk and for other venues here was being able to get not only shuttered venue funds, but paycheck protection funds, which the Mohawk has been able to get. After being promised so many times that the shuttered venue money was coming, we thought it would be out today, as I mentioned. We're told it will be out by the end of the week, maybe next week. But we want the money in the bank so that our music venues are able to benefit from the work we've been trying to get accomplished since last October. To keep live music, of course, it's good to keep live musicians. And so much of the focus of the work in our office has been on unemployment, on health coverage, on vaccines, and financial assistance. Pat may talk about this some more in a minute, but we did an event recently, a series of events that got another 750 people in the music industry immunized. So tonight we open with all the safe procedures of the Safe and Sound Initiative that will apply throughout the Red River District. Shows will be held outdoors, staff will be masked and vaccinated, and audience members will be screened for a temperature check before shows and mask up whenever they're coming to the indoor bars. Mohawk, of course, has been a national leader in just getting some great concerts right here, but now they are also setting the stage for what a safe reopening can look like. We know Austin's ready, that ACL sold out on 3-day passes in hours, that the truckers are coming. So Austin's ready. ACL sold out in hours on 3-day passes, and very quickly, as you reported, on 1-day passes, and the Mohawk is sold out tonight. This reopening would not have been possible without great work by so many in the music industry. We're going to hear from some of them. And I think, Jeanette, why don't you lead off and give us a few more words, because she's been here as the Mohawk manager, though she also was laid off some of last year, but she's back and the Mohawk's ready and the beer is chilled and the music's about to come. Jeanette, will you come up? Jeanette Greger, who's the manager here at the Mohawk.
Thank you.
Please,
Thank you very much.
Please come right in the middle and tell them a little bit about what's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to close this door here.
So we can officially open it?
So we can officially open it, yeah.
Okay. It's been closed too long.
Yeah.
And Pat, why don't you come around here too?
Yeah.
We'll get you up in just a minute, but go ahead, Jeanette.
I don't have anything prepared. I just wanted to, express how grateful we are for everyone in our community that's stepped up and helped us, not just Mohawk, but all of our venue communities in Austin and honestly around the country. Like, this has made a difference in so many people's lives, like my own. Being laid off from a place like this is so significant because this is just it's fundamentally becomes a part of who you are, right? So I wasn't just a bartender, I wasn't just an event producer, I was part of Mohawk. And as the first official employee hired back in a different capacity now as a venue manager, which is for today, right? You know, I get to step back into my home, my family, and my profession, knowing that I'm valued by not just the music community, not just people like Pat with Austin, Texas musicians who we've worked with tons over the last few months, but y'all, you know, and you know, our local, state, and federal government cares about bartenders and stagehands and musicians and a bunch of rock and rollers that are about to put on a really, really good show. So I want to express to you thank you. I want to express to all of our venue communities that didn't make it through this pandemic, Mohawk's here for you too. You know, come out and see us, have a beer on us. But ultimately, let's all finally hear some good music, and it'll be my pleasure to allow you to open up our door tonight when we're ready.
In moments. Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting us tonight. Yeah. And Pat Butch has been the leader in advocacy for Austin, Texas musicians. Pat, you want to add a word or two?
Thank you so much.
And do you want to call Gwen? Gwen want to come up too?
Gwen? No.
You're filming. Okay.
Gwen does
fine.
a lot of advocacy as well.
Shows.
All right. It's funny. I was putting on my suit, and I realized the last time I wore this suit was to the Austin Music Awards last year. So we've kind of come full circle, because I've only worn pajamas pretty much every day since then. Wow, I don't even know how to put into words all the feelings I'm having right now, being back here with y'all today. As we open the doors to live music in Austin, once again, let me just acknowledge what it took to get here. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears to ensure that musicians make it through until the lights come back on again. And that music venues are still here when the time comes, and that time is now. Now, when the pandemic hit, the mission of Austin, Texas musicians had to expand quickly to meet the growing needs of our community in crisis. And so we began to host these informative online events about unemployment benefits and what those would mean for working musicians. And from the very beginning, Congressman Doggett reached out to us to see how he could help, and he partnered with us all throughout the pandemic so that we were fully informed and able to access all the varied information around the federal pandemic unemployment benefits.
Ever changing.
Oh my God, it was constantly a moving target. And also, you know, unfortunately, when some of us in our music community were denied those benefits, it was Congressman Doggett who advocated until those musicians finally received the funds that they deserved. And now that those benefits are ending, unfortunately, Congressman Doggett's office will join us again, once again, tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Austin, Texas Musicians' Facebook page. We're going to do another informative live stream with our partners from the Texas Workforce Commission, from Congressman Doggett's office, and entertainment attorney extraordinaire Gwen Seal, so we can make sure that all of our musicians understand what it means to have these federal benefits ending. But, you know, here we are, and it's just amazing. We're all alive, we made it, and we are grateful to the congressman for working so hard to help our musicians, for working to secure $16 billion in federal relief to save our stages, and for working to assist venues like the Mohawk in applying for those shuttered venue operators grants. So thank you, Congressman, for that.
Pat, thank you for leading throughout this. It's a heavy door, Gwen. Why don't you come on up with us and join us too?
Please do.
And we'll see if Mikey's working inside.
I just wanted to say, well, just one, I want to say that we're grateful to you and all the people who worked so hard to lift us up and carry us to this day. It's a moment to celebrate, but there's much work ahead. as we rebuild our music industry to be more resilient and more equitable for everyone. And as always, I'm humbled to serve alongside you
Well,
in making a brighter future for all of us.
you're more than generous, and we are going to actually open the door because I think what everybody wants is not more words but more music.
Yeah.
But is there, as we do that, is there any question that you have for any of the experts here? If not, I'm sure Jeanette's available one-on-one between getting ready for customers here, and we think people are going to be lining up soon. Thank you all very much for coming. It's good for once to be gathered for a press conference where the news is good news and happy news for the future of our community and for our musicians. So let's get this done. Come on, Gwen. Pat, you go. The official opening. Will you do that side?
There you go.
We are ready. The music's about to get underway.
Are you guys here ready to take